you sit that in here, can you see where, technically that's where the last strand of hair is here, so it drops quite dramatically in here, that's the shape of the head. So anything past that point there, he's going to want to live more in this area. Anything past that way, he's going to want to live in the length. So get the rest out of the way, and that's where you shape first. Once you get, this is going to be a guide then for all the face framing. Alright?
I do that, but I learned that from you.
Did you?
Yeah.
So it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I even do it when I'm filing the front, like the money piece. I always sort of section it out that way, because that's how it's going to go.
That's you could do it on foiling, you could do it on cutting. This here will be, it's not going to change in 6 weeks. Your shape of that is never going to change on this person. So if you go off that, off this individual, you know that's never ever going to change. That's called like fixtures and fittings. Don't go off earrings or nose rings because they might change, but that shape there is always going to be your shape throughout the journey of you being a hairdresser. Alright? So, we'll get scissors in here. So like I said before, if I pull it all forward, where's it going to fall? Where's it going to want? It's going to want to instantly kick back there. Also, what I mentioned earlier is if I don't move throughout this haircut, this front bit here is going to be closer to my scissors than the outside is here. Because the shape of the head there, compared to the outside, this is going to be further away from the cutting line than this front bit in here. So even if I cut one big straight line through there, as it falls, this bit's going to be slightly longer than the inside bit. So don't overcomplicate, it's really simple once you kind of get your head around that. Now all you need to figure out when you're doing any face framing or bangs is where you want it, the shortest bit to be. If they've no face framing or bangs at all, and they want to play it safe, I'd always go for collarbone and down. If they want it a little bit shorter, jawline and down. Then the other one, same fixture and fittings, that's not going to change. Collarbone's going nowhere, jawline's going nowhere. Then the top of the lip or bridge of the nose. Those four are never going to change on this person. So if I come back in 6 weeks and you want it doing again, and I know we did jawline and you want it a bit shorter, I could go to the top of the lip or I could go to the bridge of the nose. Anything that's going to face frame, I wouldn't go any shorter on the bridge of the nose because it becomes a fringe. And anything shorter on the bridge of the nose isn't long enough to hold to the side hair like that. So it's just going to sit like a fringe. That makes sense, doesn't it? Right? Has anybody ever done a side fringe that's too short and it kind of doesn't quite hold for a little bit, but it's like sweet in about 2 weeks? That's because it's done slightly too short. So always go off bridge of the nose or further down is long enough to hold like that. Because we want it to go behind the ears, I'm starting to measure now, yeah, anything behind the ears, around jawline area is going to be, I would not go any shorter than that because you won't be able to do that. Right? So that's your guide. Also, I'm being quite slow in prep when I'm cutting this because it'll allow me to work quite quickly when I'm doing it because there's no guess area. There's not like a, I think she wants it there. You don't have to cut it twice. Alright? So, half that in here. I'm going to lift it out. Straight out of the head. The reason why I'm lifting, I said earlier, if I want softness, I'll lift it off the body. If you want it quite heavy, I'm going to be here. Because we want it to fall quite soft and a bit more lived in, always off the body, into here. I'm just going to check. Yeah, I'm really happy with that before I cut. Also a really good one to give that softness. If you want to look up for me, perfect. If you look up, it creates a little bit more of a softer roundness rather than going too square. Alright? Straight out, check the length in here. And also, how much more nerve-wracking is me cutting here because you're seeing everything I'm doing, aren't you? So if I'm here, you're going to kill me. So as saying, don't worry about cutting hair in front of the customer. It won't be the first time that they've had the haircut. So don't worry about being here, it's fine. No, it's not scary, you just got to do it. If I wanted to do that shape back here, in my comfort zone, it's really, really hard to do it. So I'm taking the outside now, and I'm going to bring it straight out into the middle again. The reason why I'm bringing it straight in the middle is because I want the outside to be longer than the inside. Take it off. And what that will do, because you brought the outside in, and you bring it round, you're going to have a slightly shorter in the middle and longer on the outside. Yeah? Same here. squeeze it into the centre, on right along the parting, and straight out again. There you go. And that's long enough to do that, and it's long enough to do that. So now I want to join this. So why would you say that I'm going high in here to low down there? Anyone know? You want to keep the length at the bottom. So the reason why I'm high here and lower here, if I just take a square section there, I'm going to have to work really, really hard for my length to fall out. If you go low underneath the ear, like that, this, by just lifting forward, has to travel far. So you're going to preserve your length a lot more by having a rounded sectioning pattern. I'm going to pick all that up, like so. And just pull straight out. See your length in here? So can you see already from there, because you're lower, your length's already dropped out. And then I can just soften them there. Easy as that. Nice and easy. So that again, higher to lower. You're doing really well, by the way. It's always nerve-wracking having no mirror and just seeing her drop on the floor, isn't it? Straight round, yeah? And you're going short into long. Like that. And then drop it down. Now this side, if I wanted to match this in now, and I stay here, on that side I would cut inside to out. On this side I'm cutting outside to in. So can you see how much more is coming off on that side if I come in here? So come to this side like that. If you just move forward, or you could spin that round to here. And then all I'm doing then is the exact same like that. How much easier is that? Yeah? So if I stay here, to create that, very hard if you just stay behind the head. So spin the customer around. Would anybody feel comfortable doing this on a customer? Spinning them around a little bit?
Yeah.
You getting motion sickness?
No, I'm fine.
Perfect.
One of my clients said, "Bloody hell, it's like the voice, this chair keeps going round." I died inside, I was like, stop.
But your body's working a lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah. I died, honestly, I actually died inside.
So now you'll be able to see your length, and you can see the short bit in here, and anything in between that, which isn't a lot, so I'm cutting straight up. The reason why cutting straight up here maintains the outside longer and the inside shorter. So short hair pushes longer. So when you fold and drop this, the short bit on the inside will drop the outside out. So if you look at any face framing or bangs, if you look straight down, it's going to be like a little triangle. The triangle is pushing this away from the head. Lovely. Also, you'll see that the only bits that I've lifted is starting to lift off the head now. Anything else that I've not touched is still staying at the 0 degrees. So wherever you lift the hair creates lift. Wherever you don't lift the hair, you're not going to have any lift. Alright? So it's nice and soft. Another good one, while we're on the topic of face framing, does anybody normally do it like this?
I do it like bring it round and bring it down.
Yeah, so you bring it round into here,
Yeah.
and you might be cutting up, and then this one you're cutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But that
So-
creates more like a heavy, like,
Heavier. And the reason why it's heavier is because you're close to the bottom.
right, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything, always remember that, and that's the sole reason. If I looked at that one and that one, the shape might be the same, but it'll fall a bit heavier. The reason for it is you've cut it there rather than there.
Right, okay.
So if you wanted to get that kind of shape, take the section again, always high to low. High to low means that this has to travel further than this. That is it. So pick it up, and rather than having to create that shape with your body, if you just walk to the opposite side, Yeah? If you walk to the other side and do that, you can just take that out. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because what you've done, can you see that that's going to be shorter than that?
That's gonna be, yeah.
And then exactly the same. If you walk the exact same distance on this side, then it's going to balance. I would say I feel far more comfortable face framing somebody like that than that. The only reason for it, it can be slightly inconsistent.
Yeah.
By going down one side, away the other.
Hard to get it to mix sometimes.
It's very hard to get it the same. So whenever I'm cutting always with softness, I'm lifting, and also what I want to do is go up and away. If you're going up and away, then it's going to create shorter here, longer to there. If you go straight across, it's going to be quite heavy. Alright? But it just creates that nice softness in here. Alright? So I can't see a mirror, but I think you're looking pretty good. So that'll create that nice softness into here, but also it's created in here, softness there, but maintain the length by just travelling and distance. Alright? Now a quick one of layering before, I'm not going to layer it, but I'm going to do the length, but just a quick one in layering. If you wanted short layers in this and maintaining the length, there's two options. If you bring it all over to here, the outside is going to be longer than the inside, or a quick one. Right, if you look down for me, that's taking the top layer away, so you keep the top layer longer. Yeah? Right, look, right. Now, if you want to now look up, it takes the length away for you and keep you shorter layers. So if you wanted to keep length and have shorter layers, just by looking up or down will then either preserve the top layer or take the top layer shorter, without having to do this or anything like that. So you're working that a little bit more smarter. Yeah? Also, if you look to my chest now, just look towards me for me, please. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Can you see how it's just creating that nice shape for you without having to move? Same in here. If you now look to all your lovely classmates, you see how it's creating that shape for you?
Let's let the ring for someone.
I know, yeah. So by asking your customer to do certain things will make your life a lot easier and a little bit more consistent. So if they look left, it's going to arc that way. If they look right, it's going to arc that way. Alright? Right, should we do your length? Are you okay to stand up for me?
Yeah.
So nice, easy, quick way of doing a length.
I probably need quite a bit off, it's pretty dead at the bottom.
So you're giving me artistic freedom, aren't you?
Yeah, just anything that needs to come off can come off, I don't mind if it doesn't.
You've all heard that, haven't you? Yeah? Okay, that's fine, yeah.
Words.
You can have a bob. Put on that it's come off.
So anything long, you stood up at the moment, you see it's quite wide in the shoulders a little bit in here. So ask your customer, are you okay just to hug yourself? Just like put your arms like that.
Like that.
So when you hug yourself like that, it creates a little bit more of a softer shape now. Rather than, if you were just stood like that, and I cut all the way along the back, it's going to look quite heavy and quite Lego-ish. As soon as you hug, it just opens up the shoulders that little bit. You see how it's a little bit more softer already? Here. So, to you guys, how much do you think you should take off? All of it.
Yeah, I'm quite nice.
So show you the
2 to 3
difference.
inches, I think.
Quite a bit.
I would say, right there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah? Anybody want to come up and do it? Anybody?
Tia's thinking about it. I always get hit.
Come on, then, let's do it. Come on.
You've been 4 times. And
Anybody
he
else?
always does
Anyone?
that.
Do you want to do it? You did it last time as well, didn't you? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it?
What was thinking was quite bad, man. It's not
Obviously,
big.
do you want to do it?
Throw me on my head.
It's alright. Alright, I'll do it then.
How much is it?
Bob.
No, it's if anybody asks me how much is it, I would just like measure on the call. Just about that.
Right,
But you won't be really losing too much through the front bits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's just happened though? Like, even though she said before, you can take what you want off, I'm not bothered, she still said,
She is
how
bothered.
much is it? How much are you taking off? That's what clients do. So they'll say, yeah, take it out, take off what's needed. And then you say, okay, well, I think about that much. And they go, oh no,
Yeah.
not that much. So obviously, always check.
Yeah.
Don't just go and lob it off.
A good question is in consultation, what's too short?
Yeah.
Nobody ever asks it, what's too short? Because you might pay me £1,000 to take that off.
Yeah.
And then you be like, I'm not paying £1,000, you only took that off. So value to you might be undervalue to you. So everybody just ask to you what's the comfortable length, what's too short, and they'll know. Every customer knows what's too short for them. They might say, oh well, what do you think? Well, exactly that. What I think and what they think is two different things.
You
Right?
know, sometimes you have to work on people as well. And they knew you won't let you.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months down the line, they're
They trust you.
They're trying you out, aren't they?
like, yeah.
So by asking that question is, you care about how they lead.
I
Because
say
you want them
show
to be
me.
happy.
I say show me yourself, like do that, show me.
You want to do that, yeah.